Hey guys, so in today's video I thought I would talk about a recent resurgence I've been seeing in dating app life. So as I've mentioned in past videos, I'm pretty active on dating apps. I'm not really afraid to admit that it is what it is. And usually I don't get more than maybe one match each month, which is not the best ratio, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But ever since the coronavirus, COVID-19, has become serious really in America the past 2 weeks, I've seen about a dozen matches in those 2 weeks, which is very clearly much higher than my standard. And some of this is definitely contributed to the fact that my own usage has increased since I've been stuck at home under self-isolation. But I was already pretty active on the app, so my true level of increased usage isn't that dramatic. My theory is that there are a lot more people bored at home due to lockdowns and quarantines and self-isolation and all that, so that there's more usage of the apps. I think there's a lot of new and inactive users coming to the app more frequently, or creating new apps as a whole and using them a lot more. Or not creating new apps, creating new accounts on the apps that already exist. I also think that there's a possibility that the standards for people are decreasing to an extent because they're just so desperate for human interaction, someone to talk to, someone to laugh with and, have a good time with. And then I also think that there's a whole different type of people that the users of these apps are looking for. They're looking, I believe, for people that are more verbally open, able to hold better conversation, aren't relying solely on physical appearance, which I feel benefits me directly. I'm not someone that has ever been in relationships for physical parts of it. I'm not one with the way I look that attracts people physically as much. I'm not, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I think you get what I'm trying to say, that overall, if I were to classify whether my dating methods are more verbal and emotional or physical, it would definitely be on the verbal emotional side. So in that sense, I think that a lot of the guys and girls out there that are more verbal and emotional when it comes to dating and romantic life are getting a lot more attention and being appreciated a lot more on these dating apps, because people recognize that physical interaction isn't something that could happen for at least the next few weeks, several weeks, if not few months, or even several months with some of the projections we've been seeing recently. But in any case, long term, I think that we could see a spike in dating app couples that come out of this, whether that be right now just everyone using all these dating apps at such a high rate and connecting with people on a much higher scale than they used to. I also think that we'll see a more accepting social view of people creating relationships through dating apps. This is cyclically probably going to cause more relationships in general, because if society is more accepting of people using dating apps and meeting their significant other on a dating app, it'll cause more people to have relationships that way. I also believe that there'll be a significant rise in those emotional, verbal people finding relationships that they may not have in the past. I think a lot of people, for better or for worse, or maybe it's just my generation and my age group right now, rely very, very strongly on the physical attributes of a relationship rather than emotional connection, communication, all those aspects. So I think that we're going to see a lot of people at all ages lean more towards people that could verbally communicate well in a relationship, because right now all we do have is verbal communication. There's not a lot of physical interaction going on right now, or there shouldn't be. I also think that we could see this could potentially cause a shift in how relationships are defined as a whole. And if this lasts a long time, we could see not only virtual dating being normalized and dates taking place on a virtual platform in general become a more normal thing. We could also see potentially people finding a deeper, more meaningful connection earlier on in their dating life, just because I think there's a decent period of teenage, young adult years, and even, I guess, up through your 20s, I would say, that a lot of people are searching primarily for physical attraction, sexual attraction, things along those lines, rather than once you reach your later 20s, early 30s, I think people start to consider the romantic, emotional, verbal communication sides of a relationship. And since a lot of the physical attributes are taken out right now, I think we could see people find those more emotionally connected relationships earlier on in their early 20s, late teens, even. So, with all that, I also think that it's possible that we see more couples in general. We see people that wouldn't normally talk to each other on dating apps or in a virtual platform talking a lot more and realizing they have a lot in common and get along really well and have a good chemistry, good vibe that they wouldn't have noticed in the past. So this could also create more couples in general, more people looking for virtual senses of companionship and maybe accepting a virtual partner that they don't have a chance to meet for a while sooner than they normally would. So again, these are based on absolutely nothing. These are just my basic opinions, some hunches, some vibes I've been getting. But I thought it was interesting. I think within the next month or so, you'll quickly see BuzzFeed and all these hyped young adult teenage websites and newspapers, not newspapers, none of us read newspapers anymore, but those kind of news platforms advertising this concept of, oh, teens are suddenly super into dating apps like it wasn't a thing. And I just want to be the first one to say it and be able to come back to this video and say I told all you guys that I was right. So with that being said, that's it for this video. I'm going to call it a night. And as always, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.